Hey guys, it's Hayden. This is going to be a little different. I'm going to do a off-the-cuff type commentary for the time-lapse of this video. As you can see here, I managed to make 6 different Pokemon. The theme was Pokemon, but I wanted to limit myself to all Generation 1 Pokemon. Because the reason for this is Pokemon Let's Go, which is a remake of Pokemon Yellow version, came out about a week or two ago, and I've been enjoying playing that a lot. So the goal was to make one Pokemon of every type. I didn't finish all of them this week, so I'm going to continue this next week. But for this week, I did start with Haunter, a Ghost-type Pokemon. First thing I did was pick a few basic colors for Haunter, which are just a few shades of purple. And then I moved on to an outline. First, very roughly sketching it in, and then cleaning up my outline after I got the basic shapes. Haunter is a relatively simple shape to draw, so it didn't take very long compared to the rest. After I get the basic shapes in, I start adding a little bit of shadows and a little bit of highlights. Pick a few more colors for the mouth and tongue. Now I'm working on his floating hands. These ended up turning out pretty okay, I think. Add a little highlights here, a little shadows there. Clean up that rough outline. Make nice, smooth, rounded. I struggled a bit with the eye shape, but I ended up going with a simple black line. There you go, there's the finished product. Alright, next up is Lapras, but I have some bad news here. My recording software seemed to bug out and I lost the first half of the process here. So you can see I have a basic outline and shape and colors blotted on here. But I still have to clean it up a bit, sort out some of the shapes that are awkward, and then the shading will be in this part. As you can see, this Lapras is purple. Normal Laprases are not purple, they're blue. I decided to go with a shiny Lapras for this one just because I thought it looked good. As you can see, I have my small palette right there, and I've added a couple colors to it. And once again, bad news. My recording software bugged out and cut off the last part of this as well. So unfortunately, this is the gist of what I got recorded for Lapras. But it turned out pretty well. And there's the finished product. A little bit of shading. Alright, number 3. We have our rock type that I chose. I chose Kabutops because he looks like a total badass. Unfortunately, my recording software failed once again and I barely got any footage of this guy, but you can see the finished product here. Next, we got our lightning type. I decided to go with Electabuzz for this one. I think he's a pretty interesting Pokemon. And when I started out on this, I had very simple shapes sorted out for his body. He's got a circle for the head, circle for the body, rectangles for the arms, and so forth. After you get the basic shape started, then I go through and fill out a nice clean outline. Color in like very dull, flat colors, no shading at first. It's all about getting the shape of the Pokemon down first. Trimming down his body to be less of a sphere. I work out that his arms need to be a little bit further away from his head, so I kind of restart those. Get his fists temporarily put there. And the convenient thing about making Pokemon in a pose, or spriting in a character in a pose that's symmetrical, is that you can literally just copy paste and mirror horizontally or vertically, depending on what you're doing, sections of the creature so that you don't have to resprite it twice, and it'll be exactly identical if that's what you're going for. So right there, I just copied, pasted, and mirrored horizontally the feet and legs. That way I didn't have to redraw it. Saved a lot of time. And once again, my recording software failed me, so I missed part of the process of drawing the lightning bolt and a little bit of the shading, but the final part is still here. I think Electabuzz is a pretty cool character. He kind of looks dorky with his wide cheeks and his antennas, but he's also got big arms with fists and some pretty crazy claws, and fangs for that matter. It's a mix between like an alien and a tiger, I guess. There you can see I copied and pasted over the stripes on his arms a little bit to save some time. Putting some finishing touches on the lighting here on his arms. Adding some shadows. And there you have it. There's Electabuzz. I think he turned out pretty well. Maybe second best out of this set. Next up we have Articuno. Now, Articuno took the longest out of all the ones that I worked on. I spent quite a long time fiddling with the wings after I had the basic outline created. I'm not super happy with how it turned out. I think it could have went a lot better. If I were to redo it, it definitely would look a lot better. But this is a pretty decent first attempt, I guess. Right there, I filled in the background like a dark orange because it was hard to see the light blues against the gray tiled background. So I got Articuno's crown there, his beak. I went with a dark blue outline on Articuno. My outlining strategy has been incredibly inconsistent on these first few, but I think I've figured it out now and I'm learning a bit. And like I said, I spent a decent amount of time fiddling with the shape of the wings and how the feathers will work and how to space them out and how to get them not looking wonky. I'd like to revisit this sprite and touch it up, finish it up. Maybe I will in the future, we'll see. All in all, it did turn out pretty good, I think. Getting the fore part of his wing highlighted because it's closer to you. Shrinking his wing because I thought they were too wide. And adding actual feathers here. They were roughed in at first, and then I went through and individually cleaned them up and made them a little nicer to see. Add a little bit of a shadow to his form. A little bit of a shadow to his wing. Now I'm working on his chicken legs. Or chicken thighs, I guess. Not before I copy, paste, and mirror the wings though, so I can get a better sense of the total project here. Did another quick change of the background because I didn't really like the orange too much. Now, right here I'm working on its claw, or I guess his whole foot. Add the few talons to it. Fiddle with it a bit. Wanted to add an outline to it to match the rest of the sprite, so I did. It turned out pretty good. The idea behind this sprite's posture, I guess, is its wings are out like it's swooping down at you, and its feet are forward like it's gonna attack you with its like talons. Now the tail, unfortunately, just did not turn out to be a nice Articuno tail. It's too thick. It doesn't really translate into like the ribbony type of shape that the Articuno tail is supposed to be, where it's very thin. That would definitely be one of the things that I would work to change if I were to go to edit this guy. Doesn't look horrible, but it's not true to how Articuno really works. I fiddled with that for a while, work on lighting and trying to get the shape down. It turned out okay, but it's more like a snake tail than an Articuno tail. All in all, pretty decent looking sprite though. That was my ice sprite. Next up and lastly, we have the poison Pokemon, Harbach. evolved form of Ekans. Snake spelled backwards. Harbach is cobra spelled backwards. Very creative, I know. So right here I started with a very basic blob shape of just like the relative, like sort of primary purple color of Harbach, and then I'm going through now and creating a nice clean outline over the top of it. I found this is like one of the better ways for me to create a Pokemon quickly. I think Harbach turned out probably the best. I think the colors I picked were very nice, and the shapes were not too difficult, very easy to read. Started making the tongue, but then I just got rid of it first because I didn't feel like dealing with it at the time. Spent a little while adjusting the eye to make it not too big, not too far back, correct size and shape, you know. Ended up with that. It works out. Kind of looks like he's like smirking at you. It's perfect for the type of Pokemon he is, I think. Now I'm adding his decoration on his hood. I just did the basic one with the eyes and the mouth and the eyebrow shape. I didn't go too crazy with the shading on the different colors. I think I left it one color per shade on the hood, but the body of him is 3 or 4 different shades of purple. I'm adding his lines to his body. Now I'm working on a little bit of highlighting. So his body kind of snakes backwards, like gives him a little bit of depth. Because he's actually, I think, like 10 or so feet long. He's a pretty long snake. Giving some shading to under his head and chin and on his hood. A little bit of rim lighting on the top of him where the light source might be coming from. Shading behind him and under him. And a slight highlight on the front and top. Yeah, I'm pretty happy how Harbach turned out. And there's the finished product. Let's have one more look at all of them in the same spot. Alright, not bad, not bad. You can definitely tell there's some inconsistency between the Pokemon I made first and the ones I made last. I improved, I think. I'm expecting the next batch to be a lot more homogeneous. Not take quite as long either, hopefully. And hopefully I won't have any recording errors and I'll actually get solid recording of all of those. Anyway, thanks for sticking around and checking this out. I'll see you next week.